The most destructive person you will ever encounter is not the obvious tyrant. It is not the person who shouts or the person who openly abuses. It is the individual who claims to love you, who claims to understand you better than anyone else, but uses that intimate knowledge as a surgical weapon. These are the good people who leave you feeling spiritually exhausted, profoundly confused, and slowly erased. You feel a constant nagging doubt. You are always defending your reality, always justifying your feelings. You perpetually feel like you are walking through dense emotional fog. You walk away from their presence feeling lighter in the wallet, heavier in the chest, and profoundly uncertain of your own sanity. You are being targeted by a dark empath. This person is highly sensitive to your pain, not because they share it, but because they can accurately map the shortest distance between your current state and your deepest trigger. They are the most dangerous psychological predator of the modern age because they combine two seemingly contradictory forces: high analytical capability and the toxic core of the dark triad. To understand their power, we must leave the realm of casual psychology and enter the neurobiological mechanism of manipulation. We must dissect the wiring that allows them to read your mind while feeling absolutely nothing for your suffering. The standard definition of empathy involves two major independent neural circuits: affective and cognitive. Affective empathy is the spontaneous, visceral mirroring of another person's emotion. It is the immediate, non-voluntary activity in your insula and amygdala, the neural structures responsible for processing pain, fear, and internal bodily signals. This is what allows you to wince when you see someone fall or feel a pang of sadness when a friend cries. This circuit, which links pain perception to social connection, is structurally and effectively offline in the dark empath. Cognitive empathy, however, is purely analytical. It is the sophisticated skill of perspective taking, the intellectual capacity to understand another person's beliefs, intentions, emotional triggers, and potential reactions. This cognitive function is governed by the theory of mind, TOM circuit, heavily reliant on the medial prefrontal cortex, MPFC, and the temporoparietal junction, TPJ. These regions function like a high-powered cold logic supercomputer. The dark empath possesses an aggressively hyperactive cognitive empathy circuit. They are masters of predictive coding. They can flawlessly model your internal response before you even feel it. They are, neurobiologically speaking, a highly advanced reconnaissance system that can map your internal terrain, your deepest insecurities, your biggest hopes, and your trauma history without suffering the cost of emotional resonance. They do not feel your pain. They merely note the precise coordinates of your vulnerabilities, calculating the force needed to elicit the desired reaction. This extraordinary manipulative skill is driven by the dark triad core: narcissism, the relentless need for external validation and dominance, now Machiavellianism, strategic, amoral exploitation, and subclinical psychopathy, a chilling capacity for cruelty without cognitive remorse. For the dark empath, every act of manipulation, every calculated kindness, followed by a cutting remark, is a highly rewarding neurological event. When they achieve dominance or elicit a strong emotional reaction from you, their ventral tegmental area, VTA, releases a surge of dopamine into the nucleus accumbens, NACA, their brain's primary reward center. This is the neurological pathway of addiction. The reward is not connection or intimacy. The reward is control. This means the very act of hurting you, of confirming their superior control over your nervous system, is structurally addictive to their brain. You're not just a target. You're a psychological lever used to obtain a euphoric, self-affirming dopamine hit, which reinforces the cycle of abuse. So how do you defend yourself against an individual who can perfectly anticipate your every move and who uses your own kindness as a liability? Since you cannot fight neurochemistry with willpower, you must employ a biological defense protocol that starves their reward system while robustly protecting your own internal state. Protocol. The empathy gap detection. Your first defense is accurate information gathering. Stop focusing on what they say or what they claim their intentions are. Focus exclusively on the measurable, tangible damage their actions cost you. The Dark Empath will always talk a good game, high cognitive rationale, but their behavior will always create an empathy gap, a profound, recurring misalignment between their claimed good intentions and the very real emotional, social, or financial damage they inflict. When you feel confusion, immediately stop arguing the intent. Do not engage with their rationale. Address the observable impact only. For example, I understand you think you are helping, but the result of that action was that I lost X. This forces the conversation out of the MPFC analysis and into the NAC reward. Protocol 2, the J.A.D.E freeze. J.A.D.E stands for justifying, arguing, defending, and explaining. This is the Dark Empath's most reliable source of narcissistic supply. When you J.A.D.E, you hand them free, rich data on your emotional vulnerabilities, which they feed back into their MPFC's predictive coding model for future manipulation. You are voluntarily confirming the effectiveness of their weapon. When accused or gaslighted, your only neurobiological self-defense is to radically simplify. This is an exercise in reducing cognitive load and emotional input. Your response must be a neutral, non-committal statement. That is your perception. I will consider that. Or simply, I will not discuss this now. This creates zero data, zero emotional input, and zero reward for their NAC. It signals to their system that you are now a low-yield target. Protocol 3. Vagal tone self-regulation. Dark empaths specialize in triggering an acute fight-or-flight response, causing an amygdala hijack. When you feel that sudden tightness in your chest, that flush of rage, or the sudden urge to cry, they have successfully hijacked your autonomic nervous system. You must immediately initiate a vagal tone reset. This involves engaging the vagus nerve, the longest nerve in the autonomic system, which connects the gut and the brainstem. Use deep, slow, resonant breathing. 4 seconds in, hold 6 seconds out. This physical activity sends a signal via the vagus nerve to the brain, shifting you from the sympathetic threat state back toward the parasympathetic rest and digest state. This is a non-negotiable step to bring your prefrontal cortex back online before you attempt to engage with their manipulation. Protocol 4, the gray rock strategy. The most powerful biological weapon you possess is boredom. The gray rock method involves making yourself as emotionally, verbally, and physically unrewarding as a dull, lifeless gray rock. Answer questions with short, factual responses. Do not offer personal feelings, future plans, or sensitive information. Do not allow them to elicit anger, sadness, or extreme happiness. This starves their VTA-NAC dopamine circuit completely. You stop being a source of high-amplitude reward and instantly become a dull, low-signal object. The brain is hardwired to conserve energy, and spending massive analytical power, MPFC, on a low-reward signal, gray rock, is a losing calculation. But be warned, when you apply these protocols, specifically the gray rock method, you will trigger a dangerous phenomenon known in behavioral psychology as the Extinction Burst. Just like a rat in a lab presses a lever frantically when the food stops coming, the Dark Empath will not simply walk away when you cut off their supply. They will escalate. Their brain's prediction error signal will spike violently, demanding the expected dopamine rush. They will try to provoke you with sudden intense affection, followed immediately by extreme cruelty. They might spread rumors, try to make you jealous, or create an artificial emergency to force you to break your silence. This is not a sign that your defense is failing. It is the scientific proof that your defense is working. They are panicking because they are losing control over your nervous system. Do not react. Hold the line. Once the Extinction Burst creates no dopamine reward for them, their brain will be forced to rewire. They will eventually discard you and move on to a new, easier target. And this leads us to the final phase, neuroplasticity and recovery. The damage done by a Dark Empath is physical. Chronic exposure to stress hormones has likely shrunk your hippocampus, memory, learning, and enlarged your amygdala, fear center. keeping you in a state of constant anxiety and hypervigilance. But the brain is plastic. It can heal by removing the source of the toxicity and consistently engaging in activities that stimulate the vagus nerve, meditation, cold exposure, slow movement. You literally grow new, stronger neural pathways. You are not just surviving a manipulator. You are rebuilding a stronger, more resilient brain structure that will be fundamentally immune to these predators in the future. You have now seen the face of the enemy, and you have the protocols to defeat them. The mirror is broken. You are free. In the next video, we will analyze the opposite end of the spectrum: high-functioning anxiety. If you found this briefing valuable, subscribe and turn on notifications. Class dismissed.